And we are live. Oh, a bit of an echo there. We didn't have an echo before we started, and now we do. What's that about? How are you doing, Rhys McKee?
Yeah, I'm good. It's always exciting to talk. Anytime I talk to people, it means there's a fight in the brewing. So here we are talking again.
I know. I'm so excited to be speaking to you. And you said you're not doing a lot of press for this one. I haven't even advertised it, so there might not be many people watching at the moment because we just jumped on while you were free. But I really appreciate you doing this, and I'm just so excited to have you back. And the fact that we'll be able to be there for it, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's all exciting. I keep forgetting that the fans will be allowed back in for this one. So it's a nice one to return to. The time just felt very much right. I was starting to get back into training anyway. I've been in training for a long time, but I was starting to get into fight training. There's quite a difference in fight training and training. So, it makes a lot of sense, and the fact that the fans are there makes it even better.
Yeah, 100%. And I felt that you did a good thing, like taking a break from the UFC, not coming straight back to any one promotion or card or fighting straight away. And I think you even were thinking of maybe being on the the last trilogy
Yeah.
originally, but it seems like the stars have aligned for this one.
Yeah, I spoke with Ian Dean quite a bit about the last trilogy, and I kind of very much wanted options. I wanted to know what was out there and who was available. Did anybody want to fight? Did anybody want to call me out? But not much was happening. So, funny enough, actually, and I actually haven't said this. I suppose I haven't spoken to anybody about it, but I remember the last week of the last trilogy, there was a pullout, and it was actually for Alexi Manakivi, but. I remember that it didn't work that week. It was just
Right.
hectic. So, but it's funny now. Now that we are on and it's him again. So, I'm very much ready for this fight, and I'm excited to fight.
And the division is completely wide open. Obviously, the belt was won at the last trilogy by Ian Gary and then vacated. And the person he beat, Jack Wan, is now fighting on the Bellator card the night before your fight. So it's an open, wide division. It's not going to be long before you've got that belt, is it?
Yeah, I think the belt's going to be a byproduct of what I do.
Yeah.
I'm not here for. I don't want to sound too arrogant here, but I'm not here for the belt. I'm here to win and catch the flight to the UFC again.
Yeah.
But I do believe there's a part to play with Cage Warriors, and I think when after I win this fight and potentially the next one, I think the next one will probably be for the title. So you can't be expecting to be beating top names in Europe and not have the title fight. So yeah, it is exciting and stuff like that. But for me right now, all I'm focused on is winning, and I think that's going to be very apparent in the run up to this fight. It's I have a massive perspective shift since I've been released from the UFC, and it's nice to be doing it for the love of the sport again, which is something I maybe lost touch with for a wee while. So. Things perspective's just different this time, and I feel it puts me very dangerous.
In what way do you feel like you're more in love with it now, or what were you focused on before, just getting to the UFC rather than enjoying it?
From I was 16, the three letters of the UFC was all I cared. It was all I wanted, and when I got there, everything would change, and that would be the rest of my life and stuff like that. And it's not like I'm saying this in a very positive way. Like now I've realized that I still I love the sport for the sport. I don't love it for the UFC. I'm not a UFC fan. I'm an MMA fan. And I think since I've been gone from there, it's kind of hold on a minute. You still love it the same way, if not more. You don't care what show you're fighting on. So it's really good. And a lot of fighters that got released from UFC talked about this. You'll never get motivated again. And don't get me wrong, the first month or 2 months after, it was hard to do much. But after that, again, what else are you going to do? MMA is my life. So yeah, it's been quite a powerful kind of few months actually. And again, I do believe in 2nd of October that's going to show. You're going to see a happy race, and it'll be good. It'll be good fun.
It's another reason that I think you did the right thing, taking a little bit of time out as well, though, because it's not kind of rushing the process. I don't know or I can't think of anyone that the UFC's like re-signed within a year, say, like, and I feel like spacing it out. I mean, you can see the shape you're in. Like, I used it as the poster for this interview. You look enormous, like in a good way.
Yeah, like and that's another thing. Like I've had a lot of time to let my body develop and just train and train slow. Like there's a lot of things you can do when you're training. Like regarding putting size on, you need to train slow. It can't all be this fast. Like you can't do it 8 weeks or 12 weeks in between a fight camp. So I've made a lot of improvements and a lot of changes. Like even as you said, physically in my body. Like yes, I'm a bit heavier now than I ever was. Previously, but with that, there's great advantages in strength and power and all this good stuff. So, like
you're still getting the question about dropping back down, though, aren't you?
Well, I think
I can't believe.
I'll always get the question about lightweight, but no, that boat was definitely sealed. But yeah, like a lot of it, like I think it would be a massive mistake for like any opponent of mine to think I've just been sitting idle, stagnant, doing nothing, no development. If anything, people will be expecting me to be a step back. Like it's just so not the case. But we could talk about that all day. I'm just willing to show that. Like I don't really care if people think it or not. Because I'll show what's really up.
I just immediately thought that you're going to have a massive point to prove, and like you are my pick for no pressure, but the performance of the trilogy. Like I really see in this being like the one to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like yeah, like I wouldn't say I have a chip on my shoulder, but I'm out to prove it. But I'm not really out to prove it. I'm definitely not out to prove it to anybody from the UFC or anything like that. Or I'm out to prove it to myself. Like this is for me, and like again, I love the sport and I love all the stuff around it, and I just think this is going to be the performance. Like this is going to be the. I haven't had like a real performance I've been really proud of in a long time. Like even when I was winning fights, like there wasn't ones that really get me excited to watch back.
Really?
But yeah,
That
yeah,
Hackson Frost finish, that was
yeah,
like epic.
yeah, but okay, it was good. Like it was fantastic, but like
it wasn't good.
yeah,
That was exceptional.
no, I am happy with the performance, but I just know like the level I am I'll always expect more of myself, and I just feel like this is the fight where like people will really see like, okay, right, we understand now. Like I'm just a different level to the rest of the people, but again, it's for me to prove, and I really am looking forward to doing it.
I think you are too, and I think the pressure's on Ian Dean. He's going to be having to bring people in to match with you. Like you say, you want to be fighting the best in Europe. You want the toughest tests, literally the toughest people that aren't in the UFC. That's who you need to be fighting.
Totally. Like and when I did speak to Ian Dean, like no disrespect to domestic names, but I'm not interested in domestic names. I'm not interested in people like 3-4-0 in their career, like just not right now. For me, until like, yeah, I'll never be at that stage of my career again. I've earned my stripes. I deserve the European names, the guys with 10+ wins. The guys that if I beat, it brings me something to the table. And I don't want these fights where people. I don't want these fights where people go, "I'm sure Rhys was meant to win that fight anyway." Like that does nothing for me. So I very much know my own worth. I know what I bring to the table. I'm able to sit and like I said to Ian, if there's no one there for this show, then I'll wait. I don't need to like, I'm not going to just like fight anyone for the sake of it. So I'm fighting for the right reasons, which is very important.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and bang on the money. You should always know your worth. Stoom Boy says you can tell by your face you haven't been sitting doing nothing.
That is a fair comment.
Toby Fairbrother said, do you believe people have a high expectation of you coming back from the UFC?
Yeah, I do. No higher expectation than I have in myself, though, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't believe the world has seen how good I am. But again, in due time they will, and in due time they'll have to learn with it and realize what level I should be. But in 3 or 4 years, we're going to laugh, and we're going to sit and laugh and remember that I was there when I shouldn't have been there, and not that I shouldn't have been there that time, that before I was maybe ready. But the next time I'm there, it'll be totally different, and this will all be a memory, and we'll be laughing at how it was.
My little take on the whole situation, you don't have to say anything to this if you don't want to, because they're your future employers again, but like I think you were really stitched up on the two opponents that you were given. Chimaev, nobody, like at the time, obviously he's been out for a while, but nobody wanted to fight him. He was steaming through people, and Meerschaert after that. Then you have Morono, who has you've seen what he's done since he fought you. He's obviously super legit, and not that I feel that you can't beat those people, because I totally do, but I don't feel like they should be anyone's first fights in the UFC. And getting cut off the back of those two fights, I just found bewildering, and just I can't think of a more unfair
Yeah, it was.
one that way that it's happened.
Yeah, it was definitely strange, and I've had many times thinking about it, and trying to see how they think about it. But the best way I can word it, and how I see, and how the discussions we had with the UFC was, I was releasing developmental bases to go and develop and show your game, and whatever. So that's the reason. But the way I look at it is, they didn't. So the UFC seen me coming in and winning straight away, and starting to be the product that I maybe am in a few years. So I think the way they looked at it is, they don't want to have me now where I say I lost the first two, won the next two, lost one, won one, lost two, kind of this up and down. They want me to come in and be steamrolling. It wasn't to be this time, and it will be. So in a way, I have to kind of, I think in a few years I'll be able to thank them, but right now, like, for all the people that know me, it stings a bit. Well, it doesn't sting me at all anymore. But like, for the people around, they still ask the question, why? But in a few more years, it's going to make a lot of sense. It just doesn't right now, but it does for me, but it will for everyone.
Yeah, and I totally can see that road is going to work out for you. I just feel like they need to take some responsibility. Like Molly McCann said in her post-fight press conference at the weekend, that when she came to the UFC, she was in single figures on her pro fights. I think she had a couple less than you when she got there. And she's been learning on the job, and she has lost a few. She won a few, lost a few. And
true.
she said, I'm learning on the job, and thank you for letting me. And I
true.
just feel like they could, some people they build, and some people they throw to the wolves. And, Guy Herbert's had some strange matchups as well, but...
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Like, you're totally right. I feel like I was the level of fighter that could have learned on the job as well, and but these, like, listen, the path is wrote, and we are where we are, and we will be where we will be. So, it'll all have a nice silver lining of a story, and many people have done it before, and I'll be the next to do it.
Yeah, you will. And it's that attitude that is going to get you back there. Because if you sit and feel bitter or hard done by about the situation, it's not going to help you. And you've never been like that. And, I think that stands you in good stead, that you're just working to do what you've got to do to get back there, and the story's going to be a little different than we thought it was going to be.
And in a way, it's kind of easier because I've already been there. They already know who I am. I've talked to Shelby. I've talked to Dana White. They know who I am. So I don't have to make as much noise as I did to get in the door. I just have to make a decent amount of noise, which again I can do. Give me 2 or 3 fights, I'll make the noise for sure. So that in a way it's kind of easier than it was at the start, in a weird way.
And the blueprints there, like Brandon Moreno, how good is that story? Like, everybody just loves him, and that kind of coming back from adversity and being cut and saying, like, I'll be back and I'm going to be champion one day. And now he is. Like, it just makes for a better story, doesn't it?
Yeah, it totally does. So, like, again, right now it doesn't, but it will make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And to me, the silver lining is, I know you said the belt isn't everything, but I was kind of gutted that you were going to the UFC without ever holding that Cage Warriors gold, because I felt that you deserved it. And now you're going to get the opportunity to win it and defend it.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I was the champion. Like, I mean, in a couple of interviews, the people maybe didn't know, but they called me the champion before, and I never said no, I'm not the champion. You know, I embraced it because I believe at the time I was.
Yeah.
What I would like, you know, I wouldn't be. I believe I will get the title anyway, but I'd like that fight in Belfast. I think that for me that was what I missed. I didn't miss the title shot. I missed the headline in Belfast. I think that would have been good. So, if there was anything I'd be kind of rooting for, it'd be the big fight in Belfast. I think that would be sensational. So, if there's anything of my own, it'd be that.
Oh, I've never been to Belfast. That would be an amazing virgin trip for me to get to.
It would be crazy.
And it must have been lovely as well seeing Joe McColgan win his belt last time, and like I was so emotional watching all of those videos. Like, how did you feel for him getting his hands on that gold?
Joe's just Joe. Joe's one of the good guys. Joe's the guy. Joe's just Joe is just Joe. He's just like, you know, he's one of the pioneers of the sport. He's always there. He's done the hard yards. He done it before it was cool. Like, the whole story just is fantastic. And as a training partner, he's fantastic again. He's there when you need him. If you need advice, he's there. And you know, he's just reliable. He's a fantastic fighter. And you know, to see him get the world title in his career, I know he longed for that a lot. He wanted that a lot. And you know, yeah, ecstatic for him. You know, a great guy, and it couldn't happen to a better person.
That's another guy that I'd love to see being able to defend his belt in Ireland as well.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, wow, what a card, you know, what a card. But Joe's at like a really interesting stage of his career where like he's so happy with what he's done, and you know, the man's content, and you know, it's not often you get to see fighters be content with their career. So, you know, I think Joe should hold tight and get the big fights. You know, I'd like to see him get a shot in the UFC if that's possible for him. You know, never say never for him. So, a great guy, and he would deserve it.
And then, of course, we've got Paul Hughes has had his interim title fight announced today. So there could be three of you with Cage Warriors gold soon.
Yeah, big fight for Paul too. Like, you know, Chapa. You know, Paul's legit. Paul's the real deal. He's you know, I've been super impressed. Like, you know, I've trained with Paul for quite a while now, and anytime we train, it's always good. It's always a challenge. You know, for a featherweight, the kid's a monster. You know, and I expect him to run through and shut a lot of Morgan Chapa's fan base up. And all them eyes go to
Massive
Paul.
Fan base.
Massive, like huge fan base. If I'm being honest and a bit rude, I don't get it. You know, maybe it's because I'm not French. I just don't see it. So, but Paul Hughes, I do see it. I do get the hype, and the hype is real. So I'm interested, or I'm excited for him to prove it in front of everyone.
That's actually probably the most stacked division in Cage Warriors at the moment. When you look at Jordan Vucenic's obviously the champ. You've got Morgan, who had that really close fight with him. Paul, who had a really close fight with him. Steve Amable, who had a really close fight with him. Perry Goodwin's in. I think he might be going up again, actually. But like, it's so tight in that division, and it's
Heavy
like,
division.
Yeah,
heavy division. Yeah, Paul's the guy. Paul's the guy for it, and I like Jordan. You know, I'm a fan of his style and stuff, but you know, you have to stick with your own, don't you? So Paul's the man, and once he gets his hand on that interim gold, it'll be the real gold, and then he'll hold on to it before signing in for the UFC, I believe.
So, how do you predict that fight going with Morgan?
I just see Paul. I see Paul kind of bullying him. To be honest, like just kind of beating him up, roughing him up. Maybe not rushing anything. Not maybe getting him out too early. You know, I don't think Paul's going to be in a rush. I think he's going to. Paul's a weird character. Paul's someone that thrives in the uncomfortable. You know, he'll enjoy getting to the fourth and fifth round. You know, so that's where he'll shine. He'll shine in the fourth and fifth, and you know, if anything, I see Paul beating him up in the fifth to the point where it stops. Yeah,
it's going to be a good one. I think that's on the Friday night. I think I think
Yeah, I
it's
know, I
like
know.
Friday
Yeah,
night.
I wish it was on the Saturday, or but you can't have everything. But at least I suppose by that stage I'll have weighed in and I'll get to watch that fight.
Yeah,
Maybe,
you'll at least be able to eat and drink while you're
yeah,
watching it.
maybe live. I'm not sure because there's fans. Maybe I can go watch. I'm not sure if we have to bubble this time or not. I'm not really sure. So, um, yeah, I'm excited to watch Paul as always. But I'll be a bag of nerves for him.
Will you? Do you
Uh,
feel more nervous for like friends and
I'm
teammates than you do for yourself?
way more nervous. I can't even I can barely talk. But like when it comes to my own fights, I'm fine. Like it's because I'm in control. Then I
Yeah.
can it's up to me. But when it's my teammates fighting, I'm a mess.
I hope you don't show
Oh,
it.
I think I do. Yeah, just no. But I mean, I enjoy watching it, but I don't. I'd rather be there, and even when I'm in the corner, it's still nervy. But that's good.
Oh, you can't be a nervous corner man. I'd be like, I need the confidence from you. I need
That's
to
the
feel
time I
it.
do. That's the time I do. Have to hide it.
Stoneboy said 2 people who were cut from the UFC and came back after a few fights at other promotions were Matt Hughes and BJ Penn. Yeah, there's quite a few examples these days, and just we see it
Yeah,
a lot, and it does is really shit at the time, but it makes for a much better story in the end. And
totally. Yeah,
maybe one day they'll
totally.
be making a film about you.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. The career I'll have.
But it's so amazing. I'm so glad it's against this guy as well, Alexei Mantakivi, because he's legit. People will know him from the big names he's fought in Cage Warriors. He's
Yeah,
fought Mason, took Mason to a decision. He's beaten Soren back. He finished him inside 1 round. He's fought Jack Grant in Cage Warriors as well. He's coming up from lightweight, so
yeah.
I think maybe this is the chance where people will get to see that you are a true welterweight.
Yeah, yeah. I think if anything, people will take from this, so that they'll know that I'm a true bowler. Yeah. Listen, Alexi's, it's going to be a good fight. Like, I just think I'll steamroll him in every way. I'll do whatever I want when I want to. Again, it's hard not to sound like a bit of a arrogant person when you say that, but it's just the mindset I'm in right now. Like I just know he's got nothing for me. I respect him. He's dangerous. He's a great fighter. He's European. He's tough. He'll be there to the end, but um, the end will be inevitable, and it'll be me leaving on top. So
Done in one.
yeah, I can't. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I believe so. I believe it'll present itself. I'll be in no rush. I've been out by that stage. I'll be out of the cage 11 months, so I'll not be rushing stuff up. I'd like to rough him up. I'd like to beat him up for a wee while. I'd like to make him. I'd like to get my time in there as well and show some stuff I've been doing. So but who knows? Hagen Foss, I thought would be a long fight as well, and it wasn't. So
Well, you
yeah.
need to let me know what round to put my money on.
Yeah, well, it's hard to pick against the first.
That's what I was going with. Stoneboy said about them both are legends in the game. Rhys definitely has the potential to be a legend in the game. Buzzing to see you back at Cage Warriors. And
Sure.
I feel like everybody thinks like that. And there is such a buzz around it. And it doesn't feel like it's you were cut and you're coming back. It just feels like pure excitement to see you back
Yeah,
in there, and for fans to be back and get to actually watch you live. Like it's going to be so incredible. I'm literally just so excited.
yeah, I know, and like it's like a lot of it probably hasn't I wouldn't say it hit home. It hasn't hit home yet, but like it's just exciting to be back fighting. Like even a few stuff I'm having to get done for the fight. Like it's nice to be like I've only been away. Like I haven't been away, but I haven't fought in 11 months. So it's almost been. I suppose by the time I fight, it's almost been 2 years since I fought for Cage Warriors. So it's been different for a while. But again, I'm not like a fight snob. I'm not someone that says I wouldn't fight in that place or this place. Like I'll fight. If someone told me the next fight was in a bingo hall in the smallest town in England, I wouldn't care. Like, as long as the cage and the gloves is there, like, I'm not that guy. Like, I just like to fight, and that's it.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't think you ever come across as arrogant. You come across as confident in your abilities and what you're going to do in the cage. But an arrogant person doesn't think like that. That's just a humble man with confidence.
Yeah, I suppose that. Yeah, that's it. Like, I just, there's nothing more simple but than the fight life. So let's see.
Oh, well, I'm so excited. I literally can't wait. And this fight, having you back on the card, has literally made the trilogy for me. Made up. And thank you so much for talking to me.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Again, I'm probably not that I'm not against interviews. I love it. I love doing interviews, but I know the storyline for this fight, and I'm not that, like, I'll talk about it I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to talk to everyone about it, So
Yeah.
It's time for me to write the next chapter in my career and restart that. And I don't feel I need to talk about it too much. Just people that have, a lot of people want to interview me now, but I know who wanted to interview me before, and they'll be the people that get the interviews. Again, don't think I'm above anyone or any interview people like that, but it's just believe, stick with those who stuck with you before, and that's kind of my mindset. So very simple life this time, and everybody will see me 2nd of October, and we can talk after, I'm sure.
Well, you know that I'm your ride and die all the way to the end, Rhys. Like, I'm buzzing for this next chapter. I think it's going to be your best one yet, and I can't wait to see you put on a show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Me too.
Is there anyone you wanted to thank or shout out before we go?
Just just the usual, the ride or dies, the people that are with me all the way, or all or nothing kind of people. A lot of people probably think I'm wrote off and I'm done, but listen, I'm 25. It's laughable that people can think that. So 2nd of October is the chance for me to show, and I guarantee it will be done. So tune in. 2nd of October is my only shout out to people.
Well, I think they definitely will. They're mad if they don't. Thank you so much, Rhys. And you look after yourself and stay healthy and COVID free, and anything that gets you to that cage in one piece and your opponent. Let's just make it happen. I'm so buzzing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Excellent. Thanks, Rhys. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye bye.